Well, a big announcement today from chipmaker NVIDIA, the company playing a huge role in the AI revolution. They are set to produce AI supercomputers entirely in the United States now for the first time ever. Huge announcement. They've got plans to make a $500 billion investment here in infrastructure. These buildings are going to be in Texas and Arizona, we're told. President Trump saying that this would not be happening without the tariff crackdown. Meanwhile, China says that it will no longer export critical minerals and magnets that are used in everything from cars to drones. This is the rare earth minerals that help to build these magnets. It's just the latest in this escalation of the trade war between Trump and Xi as the friction grows deeper.
We're the greatest economic power in the world if we're smart. If we're not smart, we're going to hurt our country very badly. We lost with China over the Biden years trillions of dollars on trade, trillions of dollars. And he let them fleece us, and we can't do that anymore.
Michael Pillsbury is the Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow for China Strategy, knows the country very, very well, and a Fox News contributor. Michael, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
Martha.
you for being here. So, you know, the other thing that President Trump touched on, he was asked about the meeting today that China is having with Vietnam and other big producers and manufacturers in the region, which certainly looks like an effort on China's part to cozy up to Cambodia and Vietnam and make sure that they stay in the fold. Here's what President Trump said about that.
I don't blame China. I don't blame Vietnam. I see their meeting today. Is that wonderful? That's a lovely meeting. They're meeting, like, trying to figure out how do we screw the United States of America. Don't forget, the European Union was formed to do just that.
Okay, so Michael, you're a China expert. How is China responding to these tariffs, and how do you read what is happening right now?
Well, I think it's important to get the quote out from a few days ago that President Trump said, that I agree with. China is playing this wrong, he said. They panicked, and that's just the wrong thing to do in this kind of high-stakes showdown. I don't think China could afford to cut off all magnet sales to the entire world, for one thing. For another, Vietnam and China do collaborate on a lot of things. A lot of Chinese products, as you know, Martha, they take the label off made in China and put on made in Vietnam and take advantage of that route. So President Trump is right to suspect that certain kinds of countries are going to get together and try to deal together with him. I think probably the most serious thing going on has to do with what was expected. A lot of people, and I don't agree with them, a lot of, they're even China experts, Martha, or they claim to be. They write books on the collapse of China, and the Trapped Transition is another title. There's a lot of them. People talk themselves into the idea that China is really, really weak. And so if you just tap them one little bit, they'll fall over and immediately drop all their tariffs. That's totally wrong. China is a very strong country. It has vastly more foreign exchange reserves than we do. Roughly 3 trillion with a T, whereas ours is measured in billion. That's a tremendous power they have to control their economy. They're fighting hard to give the impression that they're not afraid of President Trump. But what the Chinese tell me, I'm in contact with a number of Chinese, they say they want to see the actual deals. These 75 countries that have already telephoned the White House, they're talking about not total collapse of their tariffs, but reductions. So China is watching very carefully what kind of deals are going to happen. And ironically, Vietnam is the next up. I think their deputy prime minister is due to come and talk about what kind of deal Vietnam can have, even going to 0 tariffs. So China is watching all that while it takes these tough maneuvers that might just be bluff.
Michael Pillsbury, there's a lot to talk to you about, so I hope you'll come back soon. This whole issue of whether or not we are in a decoupling process with China is playing out as we speak. So, sir, thank you. It's great to see you, Michael. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.